Old Lightwork still isn't tuned. I brought it to about 10 different people. Everybody says the same thing. They don't want to touch it because it's a van, a swap, or because it's too new, or blah, 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 blah. So I decided to do the dumbest thing possible. Buy another. This is a 06 LBZ. Runs, got a little wrecked. Get wrecked, poser. But the guy said it was sitting for a few months. Went over, threw a battery in it, fired right up. Thing purred like a kitten. Found a guy yesterday, after I purchased this, that says that he can get this thing tuned. So I'm gonna pull the motor out either way, and what I'm gonna do is pull the harness, the motor, trans, and like I did the bus, pull the whole harness so I can keep the cluster and everything. For now, I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with this whole setup. If that gets tuned, I won't need it. I could just use the motor for a swap for something else. So I'm just gonna pull everything, and then if I decide I'm gonna put it in something nice down the road, I could always get a swap harness. They're a lot cheaper for the 2000 to 2010, and that's a 2011, so that's where all my problems are. Literally, you can swap this into anything. You try to swap that and you got a mess. Another problem is this came out of a bus, so it's the LGH and the 6L90, so most tuners don't want to turn it up, which means if I did swap this in, it would automatically be twice as fast before I get it tuned. Crazy. LBZ, Allison. Did learn a few things putting that together. One is all this can just get deleted. You can take off all this crap and just make intercooler pipes. And that's all I'm gonna film with this, because nobody wants to see me spend the next 5 hours ripping this thing apart. Well, just plug this battery back in. Got the old jump box on this side. This is the fun part, folks. Got the throttle pedal out, pulled it through, sitting up there, and we're gonna see if it starts up. Oh. And it doesn't have enough. Shoot. We got the jump box and a battery. Sorry, Mike. Okay. Still runs. Time to disconnect some grounds and stuff inside. I know on my bus, when I took it apart, there was a couple grounds. As soon as I took them off, wouldn't run. So I'll take this off, try to start it again, and then start disconnecting the harnesses that go across. And I'm pretty sure none of that's gonna matter. I do need the BCM, but I don't know how much of the BCM actually has to get plugged in. On that one, I think it's literally just like the end plug and this guy right here. But we'll see. This morning with the mission of getting everything from the body separated from the engine, and came out here and the battery was dead. I don't know, maybe I left something on. Here's the battery, tried to charge it up, wouldn't work. Grabbed the battery out of my trailer. Been charging all morning and pulled everything through. Here it is. So I disconnected all these plugs from the actual body harness. So basically all that's left is one that goes to the engine, one that goes to the ECU, and the fuse box. Everything else that's disconnected is from the body. Purrs like a kid, man. Hey, quick tip if you gotta do a water pump in a Duramax. Take one of these guys. Got this from Harbor Freight. Put it down here on the nut. Hit it with a big old hammer. Once it gets going, you can hit it with a wrench, and then you can just spin it off. That's it. Once it's broke loose, pretty much just spin it. It'll come off. Good old snap-on tools. Couldn't do it with the smaller ones, so I got a 1/2 inch. I got nothing. So I got a 3/8 ratchet. See if we can. I mean, it's tight, but like, you know, I've seen lug nuts this tight, so I don't understand. I freaking hate snap-on tools now. They used to be like really good. What a piece of crap, man. see how tight this one is. I already started taking this one off with the ratchet yesterday, but apparently that gun can't do it fully charged. Oh, this one's a little tighter. Oh, is that the ratchet? Nice. Great freaking snap-on tools, man. Oh shit. You did it. You did it. Good. Good little snap-on tool. Engine bay harness is pretty easy to disconnect. We got these two plugs, and then it runs down through this harness, goes to the transmission. I've already got it disconnected. I'm gonna pull it up. Pretty cool thing I just learned is that actually the vehicle speed sensor has a little extension for four-wheel drive, so it doesn't intertwine with any of the four-wheel drive stuff. You just unplug it, and now it can be used for a two-wheel drive. Actually misspoke, there's one more teeny harness that runs across, does like the AC alternator, and it looks like a couple of grounds. I might just leave it on, because honestly I'm not going to send the harness out to get redone. I'm going to try to do it myself the best I can, clean it up, and so I'm just going to plug everything back in here, flop the motor over, and then we're going to figure out a point to grab it, and I have to disconnect the torque converter, the starter, and the bell housing. Well everybody, this might be the longest it's ever taken to get an engine out. Been working on this a couple days, but I decided to pop the body loose, lift it up. I'm gonna leave the trans, the transfer case, and everything in. Gonna pull it with the converter because I don't feel like pulling the starter. The plug on it is a little loose, so I'm afraid if I go messing around with it, it's gonna break off, and then I have to buy two starters. Anyways, I ended up taking off the harness that goes in the engine bay, took off the glow plug module, and put a chain here. Also, got all the bell housing bolts off. She is almost ready to come out. We're gonna lift her up out tonight. Originally, we were going to take the body off and then just pull the motor and trans nice and easy from the top side. And turned out that me and my buddy were too weak to push the body off, so we ended up just taking the floor jack and lifting it up a little bit just to make a little more room, make it nice and easy. Got the transmission all jacked up so it doesn't fall down and start leaking like crazy. Also, both the motor mounts were they're ripped pretty good. The other one's almost sideways, it's ripped so bad. Take it out, clean it up, drop it in the GMC, and the local junkyard is actually going to trade me out the four-wheel drive trans for a two-wheel drive, so I can go ahead, switch that over, and put that in the GMC. Obviously it's a two-wheel drive, so I'm gonna try to keep it that way. Originally I was gonna try to find a 6-speed manual, but they're hard to find, and the cheapest one I found was $3,500. I don't have $3,500, so here we go. The 6L90 is about 3/4 of the size of this, so basically once this big old thing's shoved up in there, it's not coming back out without a fight. This cute little thing is you. This is who she tells you not to worry about. Went ahead, painted the transmission. So I think it turned out pretty well. My other plans are I'm going to get a deep pan for it. Probably going to get a flexible dipstick tube for it, because the one that I have in the truck kind of hits everything, and when I build the firewall I kind of want it out of the way. Now it's I dealt with it before, but the truck isn't running and I got to pull it apart, so might as well fix it. Just kind of left the filter and the pan on because I'm going to replace them anyways. So. Also, I'm going to go ahead and get a aftermarket oil cooler and lines. They make AN fittings, so I can just unbolt those and run a new line. I think they're like -10. They're huge. Original lines in the cooler. It's crazy, and it also runs through the radiator first, so it cools it from the radiator and then it goes up front to this huge cooler. But what I might do is get one of those little aftermarket Honda radiators and just make that an oil cooler. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, even though nobody's gonna ever see it. The firewall, I'm gonna make it so it's removable like a doghouse, and I might do the same with the transmission tunnel just in case I ever do have to pull the motor and trans or something like that ever again. I'm not gonna ride around with a big hole in the floor, so we'll never see it anyways. Yeah, so we got the Duramax out and we used the tow truck to do it. Our engine hoist isn't quite big enough, so. Oh, we made it up to Andrews, and also we put a building up. We did this over the weekend. Look at us go. So, got the old transmission and the Dirty Max all in the truck. It turned out it was a FTI converter after all.
Turn down for what?
Ah! We ain't turning down shit.
You think it's gonna twist?
Nah, it should be good. The old twist. As it twists. Okay, go ahead. Oh, we forgot to put the...
Drop it like it's worth $3 grand.
Well, that's worth more than this. That's alright, that's just the filter. I'm gonna put a new filter on it in a pan.
I mean, we can slide it around once it's down. Yes.
Yeah, we're trying to be nice to the new concrete and everything, and not dirty it all on the absolute first thing we put down. So.
Right? Can we still see the oil you put down over here?
Hey. Once it starts though, we'll just... Ready? Good? There we go. That'll do.
You got it?
Yep.
I don't suggest you
Drive out from under?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
We're gonna have to go more because the truck...
This is scary.
No.
Oh, that's scary. It's like you're moving like 850 pounds.
Yo, this thing's a lot heavier than an LS.
Boy, ready?
Yep.
There's one.
That'll work.
Would you say that you're feeling bored?
Anything but a boy.
Today's video is sponsored by Steven from work, who bought me that light because I was complaining about working in the dark too much.
Thanks, Steven. Oh.
Perfectly balanced.
It's actually way better than it was.
That's all
at the
things should
house,
be.
Which, once I say what I'm about to, way better than trying to do it in the grass.
How about that?
Because we had to reposition. Okay, now I'm gonna rock it. It's gonna fall over and break everything that we
tried to save.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty decent. Not gonna lie. Oh, sweet.
What a day!
Well, what a week.
What'll last
That
3
night.
days?
Yeah.
Yeah, a week is good.
This is the longest it's ever taken to get a motor out. I need to go back.
The demons. Yeah, you remember when I was like, should we move it forward a little bit? And you're like, no. Me not helping you.
Okay.
God, it stinks over here.
Oh my Lord.
Like eggs. I haven't even had eggs.
Are we leaving this under? Or we put it back in the shed?
We ain't putting it back in the goddamn
okay.
shed.
You want to put it over there?
No.
Or just leave it here?
Yes.
Okay. This will work. That's
Cool.
fine. That works for me. So I'm going to try to get the other manifolds and everything on.
Smell like eggs.
tomorrow. I don't know anything. I'm keeping my distance. I'm going to pull the converter off and then stick it in the trans so we don't mess up the pump putting it together. And then, so also I was looking at the dipstick, and it's not going to work in the cab because the motor's back so far. This lands where the firewall is. So I think we're going to try to use a flexible dipstick. It's not going to work when it's cold, but it'll read correctly when it's warmed up. So I know if there's 3 gallons of fluid in it, it's not going to mess up if we start it. Plus, there's probably still some in the converter. So. Yep. Also, I looked it up on the way here. If I do the manifolds and delete the EGR and everything on this one, like I shouldn't have done on the other one because it's a piece of crap, it won't throw it into limp mode, it says.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's good.
Fingers
It's
crossed.
old. Yeah, it's older. So this is LBZ. The other one's a LML. Apparently the LML throws it in the limp mode if you take everything off. So
Take all the stuff from here, put it on that.
Yeah, if I could run the older ECU and everything, I would. But I think it's different. Yeah. So when I was looking up harnesses, I think it's all the way up until that one uses all the same shit, and then
All the ones in.
up until the LMM, I think is all the same harness. That's it for this episode of Rustahaulic. Right?
That's it.
Leon's Garage Adventures. $1,000 car guy. Do something every day too. No, don't put any of that.
All right. Cool.